If you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. It would really help the channel, and we have battle reports, boarding actions, and list videos every week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. This is the first video of Flamestorm Friday, a deep dive on the Space Marine Aggressor Squad. I will mainly focus on the Firestorm Assault Force Detachment. The Space Marine model line is such a huge range, I just want to focus on the Salamanders. I usually play Firestorm Assault Force since it feels like the most Salamanders detachment. But I do want to make a Gladius list or two just to try it out on the channel using these Salamanders characters. Next Flamestorm Friday will be a new list overview. The Space Marines army rule is Oath of Moment. If your army faction is Adeptus Astartes, at the start of your command phase, select one unit from your opponent's army. Until the start of your next command phase, that enemy unit is your Oath of Moment target. Each time a model with this ability makes an attack that targets your Oath of Moment target, you can reroll the hit roll. The Firestorm Assault Force Detachment rule is called Close Range Eradication. Ranged weapons equipped by models from your army have the Assault ability, and each time an attack made with such a weapon targets a unit within 12 inches, add 1 to the strength characteristic of that attack. This is one of my favorite models for the Space Marines. They just fit the Salamanders so well. As of this video, they are 120 points for 3 or 240 for 6. The Aggressors are an efficient unit for the Salamanders. It is a shame they cost so much. They are paying for the sins of other detachments using the Bolt Storm variant. Let's take a look at the data sheets for the Aggressor Squad. They have a movement of 5, toughness of 6, 3 up save, 3 wounds, 6 leadership, and 1 OC. We're going to look at the Flamestorm Gauntlets for this detachment. They ignore cover, torrent, and twin linked. They are 12-inch range, D6 plus 1 shots. They have torrent so they automatically hit. Strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. And they're twin linked, so you get to reroll the wound roll. And for the melee weapons, we have those twin power fists. They're twin linked as well. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. And the 2 abilities we have with the aggressors is Oath of Moment and Close Quarters Firepower. Oath of Moment, the army rule will not help the ranged torrent weapons since they automatically hit. It will help the aggressors in the fight phase with their twin-linked power fists, giving the unit reroll hits and wounds in melee. Close Quarters Firepower, each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets the closest eligible target, improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. And this ability is what makes this unit so much more potent in the shooting phase than the Infernus Marines. Taking the Flamestorm Gauntlets from AP 0 to AP 1, ignoring cover, makes these much more potent into light to medium targets. The fact that both the ranged weapons and the power fists are twin linked, giving us reroll the wound roll, is great for this unit. I do like to pair the 6-man squad with the Captain and Gravis armor. His datasheet is nothing special, but does add some utility to the unit. The Captain and Gravis armor has the same stats as the aggressors. He does have a 4-up invulnerable save. He doesn't have access to any of the flame weapons. I do like to have the Bolt Storm Gauntlets and 2 melee weapons on him, just so I can do a little extra damage in melee. It's the Rites of Battle ability that we want most from this unit. Once per battle round, 1 unit from your army with this ability can use it when its unit is targeted with a stratagem. If it does, reduce the CP cost of that stratagem by 1. And this is great because there's so many good stratagems that synergize with the aggressors and the Firestorm Assault Force. He does also have Refuse to Yield. Each time attack is allocated to this model, half the damage characteristic of that attack. And that does help against precision. It makes it a lot harder to snipe him out to make us lose that Rites of Battle ability. So having that does make him a lot harder to kill. He also has access to 3 of the enhancements. The other one has to be a tacticus model. The first one is War Tempered Artifice. For 25 points, add 3 to the strength characteristic of the bearer's melee weapons. And this one's not that special. It does get your power fist up to strength 11, but you're not really going to use that. There are some better ones to use in this detachment. Forged in Battle, while this bearer is leading a unit, once per turn after making a hit roll or saving throw for a model in that unit, you can change the result of that roll to a 6. And this one is actually not that bad since there's no invulnerable save for our aggressors, and using this enhancement for a save will add a little more survivability for the unit. Finally, we have Adamantine Mantle for 20 points. Each time attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. If that attack was made from a melt or torrent weapon, change the damage characteristic of that attack to 1 instead. But the Gravis Captain already has that half the damage, so we're probably not going to use this one. You can use it to make him really tanky and hard to kill, but I'd probably use Forged of Battle or none at all and save the points. We will now go through the Firestorm Assault Force Detachment, how it benefits these aggressors, and for the stratagems, keep in mind we can use Rites of Battle to reduce the CP cost of the stratagem by 1 CP if we have a Captain in Gravis armor in the unit. The aggressors really like having assault on their ranged weapons from the Close Quarters Eradication Detachment rule. The +1 to strength to the Flamestorm Gauntlets if within 12 inches of the target, taking them from strength 4 to a very nice strength 5, which will get us wounding Space Marine profiles of toughness 4 on 3s with twin length, with AP 1 ignoring cover if the target is the closest eligible target. We'll now go over the stratagems and how each one of them really benefit the Aggressor Squad. We'll start with Armor of Contempt for 1 CP. The aggressors do not have an invulnerable save. They are a chunky T6 with 3 wounds, but only a 3+ save. With focused high AP attacks, they will drop quick. With Armor of Contempt, we can use it to give -1 AP to incoming attacks. With cover and Armor of Contempt, this unit will be much harder to kill. If we do have that Forged in Fire enhancement on our Gravis Captain, we can use it once per turn to turn a save into a 6 to add a bit more survivability to that unit. If the unit does have that Captain in Gravis armor, we can use the Rites of Battle to bring the cost of Armor of Contempt to 0 CP. With the Captain in a 6-man unit, it will cost 320 points currently without any enhancements. We can only use Armor of Contempt once per phase. This unit will be one of the units we want to save it for to keep the aggressors alive. Once we start losing units, the damage potential of some of these stratagems go down quite a bit. Crucible of Battle. This is a really good stratagem for the aggressors. It can send their damage potential through the roof. The stratagem works in the shooting or fight phase. Against the common T4 profile, the Firestorm Assault Force Detachment rule takes the torrent weapons up to strength 5, giving us a 3+ to wound on a Space Marine, then add +1 to the wound roll to make it 2+. So with our 6-man group, that'll make 6d6 +1 auto-hitting torrent shots, ignoring cover and an extra AP if they are the closest eligible target, strength 5 with +1 to wound twin length. This will absolutely toast hordes and light to medium infantry units. In melee, the enemy is not really any safer, with 18 total attacks hitting on 3, reroll if the Oath of Moment target, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2. Then you use Crucible Battle to add +1 to wound to those twin linked power fists. They now can punch out monsters and vehicles. Next up is another favorite of mine, Immolation Protocols. It is more expensive at 2 CP, and this is the big reason I like to bring a Gravis Captain to reduce the cost of this stratagem by 1 CP. This stratagem gives the unit anti-tank potential with their torrent weapons, twin length to fish out those devastating wounds as well. It can also melt a unit of Terminators or elite infantry off the board. Pair it with Crucible Battle for 1 CP to give the ranged weapons +1 to wound, and then Immolation Protocols for 2 CP, or reduce it down to 1 with a Gravis Captain for those devastating wounds as well. This stratagem has no cap on the devastating wounds, so if we spike hard, we get to do all those devastating wounds. Rapid Embarkation for 1 CP. This one is a bit more situational. It's a great stratagem to use and keep our aggressors safe inside a transport. This will be the downside of a big 6-man with a character attached. We will need a transport with a capacity of 14 to embark in, since Gravis takes the space of 2 in a transport's capacity. This does make the Land Raider Redeemer a good choice to transport this unit around. Smaller units will be able to get in a lot of the different other transports, but they will have less synergy with these stratagems, such as Immolation Protocols for 2 CP or Crucible of Battle for 1. These last 2 stratagems are not as impactful for the Flamestorm aggressors because of their weapon profile. Onslaught of Fire for 1 CP. This stratagem adds +1 to the hit roll on an auto-hitting torrent weapon. We don't really need that. Then last, we have Burning Vengeance, and we could use this to jump out and barbecue some infantry if they were within 12 inches and shot at our transport. I would rather save the 1 CP unless I really want that infantry unit dead, or save the stratagem for a transport with Eradicators or Hellblasters in it. Overall, the Aggressor Squad is a fantastic unit for the Firestorm Assault Force. Right now, it's overshadowed by being a bit overcosted at 120 for 3 or 240 for 6. The Aggressors have synergy with the Detachment rule. They are a movement of 5 unit. Being able to advance and still shoot all game really helps them since the Flamestorm Gauntlets are 12-inch range. The +1 to strength within 12 inches is perfect for the weapon range. 3 of the 6 stratagems are amazing for the unit, one of them being a bit situational, with 2 of the Aggressors not really being the ideal target for. With the Captain and Gravis armor attached, the unit becomes more deadly from the Captain's Rites of Battle ability. Remember, they are tough but not walking tanks like Terminators. With no invulnerable save, they can be focused down pretty easily if we put them out in an enemy shooting gallery. Now for some closing final thoughts. A great unit rules wise, and I really like the model itself. It is one of the units who feel made for the Salamanders, a big chunky boy spreading flaming death to the traitors and Xenos alike. Firestorm Assault Force has a lot of tools to help improve the Aggressor unit. Once again, it does feel like we are paying the better and other detachment with bolters tax. I would like to see a Salamander character that could join the Aggressors. It would add something new to the chapter. It's probably not going to happen, but we can wish. And if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe. And like I always say, thanks for watching, thanks for stopping by.